A man is walking through the street and goes to the vampires club, where people are standing in line. He sees a vampire sucking the blood from one of the girls. He stops by a guard and he tells him he wants to meet the owner. The guard sent him to the back side of the club. Outside, 3 vampires arrive to meet him. One of them, Alexander, asks him what he wants. The man opens his case and shows him AB-negative blood bags. Alexander tastes the blood and in return gives him a pack of cocaine. When the man is leaving, vampires try to kill him, but eventually, another creature reaches. The creature flies, quickly killing the vampires and the human. Then the anchor on TV informs the people that artificial blood has been created that allows humans and vampires to live together. But the unsuccessful coexistence, the government decides to cast all vampires in Sector 5. Detective Derek comes out of his car and goes inside the building of the United Nations of Vampire Relation. He meets with the head of the department, Kovacs, and shows him the pictures of dead vampires and a human. He tells him a vampire can't kill another vampire and that one is a more horrible creature who did this. Kovacs shows him other files telling him about the last same killings. Then Kovacs introduces Lieutenant Innes to Derek and tells him to work together. But Derek refuses to take him in and tells Kovacs to get Harker and his team for the job. Kovacs agrees on this and says you're taking him as well. In the jail, Harker and his friend, Andre, are fighting with other prisoners. A cop comes and gives them a shock and they wake up in a conference room. Derek and Innes join and tell them we're here to release you from the jail. Harker said, you want us to hunt vampires? Derek replies, not exactly, but another creature, a vampire bat more powerful which can kill vampires and humans. Derek says you guys will help us to stop these creatures and we'll send you back to America. Harker replies, I also want my sister out of the jail, and they agree. Derek takes out Celeste, Harker's sister, and both siblings hug each other. Then Harker takes them to the stripper club where he meets with his girlfriend named Katya. She tells him to talk in the champagne room, and when he goes into the room, Katya slaps him. She becomes angry with him, saying, you haven't even called me in the past 2 years. After a short argument, they both come out of the room and join the other. While they are leaving, a vampire, Marius, stops them with his troops. He comes to Harker and Derek asks him to step back but pushes Harker, saying you killed my father and I am gonna kill you soon. He threatens Derek. Seeing this, Harker breaks the tube light to attack Marius. Then Innes comes and informs them someone killed the guards. They come outside and Derek tells Harker to work in shadows and gives them some guns with mercury bullets to kill the creature. After they leave, Marius says it seems Harker and his friends are back to their old trick. The creature kills one of them, and seeing the creature, Marius says Alexander. The creature growls at him. Derek and others reach to the vampires club and Derek tells Harker we're just here for information. They go inside pointing guns at vampires for safety. Nikolai, the vampires' leader, sees them and tells them to surrender their weapons if they want to talk. Nikolai comes down and takes Derek and Harker inside the secret tunnel. Inside the tunnel, Nikolai's father Dracula himself comes towards them. Derek tells him about the creatures who are killing vampires. Derek says these creatures are buying blood from the black market, which is transforming them into vampire bats. Vampires agree to work with humans, but they come out from the tunnel. Marius arrives and said I bought them here. Many vampiric bats attack them, killing vampires. Harker climbs on the ceiling and shoots down many. Then he points his gun at Marius, but a bat quickly slits his throat. Nikolai jumps on the bat, saving Harker. Harker throws a poisoned knife and Nikolai stabs the creature and burns him down. After this, they see another creature who flies out of the window. They run for him, and when reaching near him, it's Nikolai's brother. Seeing this, he tells his brother, we can help you. Harker shoots him, but he flies and Nikolai grabs his throat. Before he can kill him, Harker shows him tracking bullets. Nikolai asks them how do we track him, and Katya says back at the hideout. Harker doesn't want to take Nikolai, but Derek reminds to Harker we're working together. They reach their hideout and Katya tracks the creature and informs others. Katya says the creature is moving along Rahovi through Ferentari. Nikolai says that's where their colony must be. Harker tells them to gear up, but Nikolai stops him, saying to him we can't go until sunrise. The next day, when reach the location and go inside, Derek turns on the lights. They move much further and Katya guides them on the tracks. Nikolai said he can smell the bats and tells Derek to turn off the flashlights. When they go more deep, they see hundreds of vampiric bats sleeping on the ceiling. Nikolai tells them to plant the detonator and he is going to find his brother. Derek, Celeste, and Harker quickly implant the explosives. When they are leaving, Harker goes back, sees the bat behind Nikolai and shoots. Due to the shot, other bats wake up and attack them. Nikolai drops the explosive controller, but the others continue shooting at the bats, burning them down. While they are shooting, Harker throws a grande, killing many of them and destroying the building. Harker wants to leave the place, but Derek stops him and tells him there are hundreds, and if they leave, the creatures will move to another place. They go back again to explode the detonator, but Nikolai's brother holds the detonator. The detonator explodes and Nikolai's brother and the other bats died. Andriy dies in the hustle, and when they reach the gate, Ines closes it with the vehicle. But Harker sets an explosive on the gate and the gate opens. Outside, one of the vampire girls burns down in the sunlight, and Nikolai says they are gone and I couldn't save any of them. Harker points his gun at Ines, saying he betrayed us, but Derek stops killing him. Enraged, Derek takes Ines to Kovacs's office and tells him that he traps us inside the colony. Kovacs orders his soldiers to take him back, and Derek closes the door. Derek tells him that someone is responsible for the tainted blood supply in the black market. Tainted blood that changes the vampire's DNA, turns them into a full-on monster. Kovacs is shocked, and Derek says we brought one of the dead creatures into the lab. Kovacs appreciates Derek and asks him to rest, and Derek leaves. While at the hideout, Harker tells Katya and Celeste to destroy the vampire's facility. Celeste says we already spent 2 years in jail and I don't want to do this. Harker says they see our place and we must have to destroy them until one day there will be nobody left on our side. The doctor examining the creature's body, Kovacs, also comes there. The doctor tells them the tainted blood will spread more quickly. Celeste, tied to the chair, calls Derek to inform him that Harker and Katya are on a mission to destroy the vampire facility. She says there are more creatures in the city about to come under siege. Derek puts the phone on speaker and informs that the creature has 12 colonies across Sector 5. Derek asks Kovacs for the evacuation orders, but Kovacs refuses and Derek leaves. In the car, Katya says to Harker, we don't have to do this, but Harker tells her, I have to do this even without you. Derek goes to the Kovacs office to get some files, but suddenly, Kovacs arrives telling him we are going to destroy every vampire. He says vampires will end the humanity and our future, and we are going to back our country. When Derek is leaving, Kovacs orders his guards to arrest him. But a vampire leads Derek to the room and asks him to run. Derek escapes and the vampire kills the cops. Harker and Katya enters the club, and Nikolai jumps down and asks Harker to join or die. Derek also reaches and points his gun on his head to stop him. Derek then goes to meet with Nikolai's father and tells him about the Kovacs plane. Derek tells him we have to fight together, and Dracula shows his wife. Seeing her, Derek becomes emotional and said, I found you everywhere but I failed. She holds his hand and tells, now you know where to find me, and leaves. Outside, the vampiric bats are attacking humans and vampires, killing them without mercy. Seeing this, they quickly run to save Celeste and reach the hideout. On arriving, they start shooting bats, killing some of them. They go inside and find Celeste. Then Celeste checks on the computer the movement of bats toward radio transmission. She tells them the signal is originating from the Vampire Nation's building. They threw gas bombs inside the building to distract guards and go inside the computer lab to turn off the signal. Harker points, we don't have to off the signal because it's not the solution. Harker tells them when all the bats reach the roof they will explode the whole building. They move to the top and Katya starts to set up explosives while Harker and Nikolai shoot the bats. In the room, Derek points his gun at Kovacs and Celeste tells them signal stops working. Derek asks Kovacs to enter the password to turn on the signal, but he refuses and shoots Celeste. Nikolai revives her by feeding her blood, which also turns her into a vampire. She wakes up and tries to kill Kovacs, but rather than dying, Kovacs enters the password. Hearing the signal again, the bats fly toward the building. Derek handcuffs Kovacs and gives him the detonator's remote. Derek gives him a choice to die as a hero and leaves. When all the bats arrive at the building, Kovacs presses the button and explodes the building. After this, they all stand together to say goodbye to each other. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to watch more videos like this.